Walking Through a World of Aromas by Ariel Andres Almada and Sonia Wimmer. When Annie was born, everything was dark. She could feel the warmth of her mother as she held her in her arms, the smell of her father's newly washed shirt, and far away she could hear the twittering of the birds as they slowly woke up to spring. But apart from that, everything else was darkness. As the years went by, Annie understood that she was different. She heard her friends talking about colors and shapes, but everything was confusing for her. One day, her mother said to her, "Blue feels like this," and made her hold an ice cube in her hands. "And red feels like this," while she made her hold out her hands towards the fireplace, very carefully so as not to burn them. Annie smiled and turned her head in the direction of her mother's voice. It was during the winter when Annie learned to walk among aromas. At first, of course, she was clumsy and bumped her head more than once. Her father said to her again and again, "Annie, go slowly, there's no rush." But like any child who wants to discover new things, she wanted to learn, and she wanted to do it quickly. So one day she began to dodge the old furniture in her house. She knew that it was polished with wax that had a very special smell, which she could easily detect. If she walked close to it, the smell became stronger, gradually disappearing as she moved away. One step this way, one step that way, and the dining room table was behind her. One step to the left, three to the right, and she could dance all the way from the kitchen to her room without any help. The next week she learned to walk next to the vases full of newly cut roses, to reach the kitchen guided by the smell of fresh baked cookies that her grandma made, and even not to step on the tail of her pet cat Paris, who for some funny reason always smelled of cinnamon. And then one day, and without knowing exactly how, Annie realized that although she was different, she could do very special things. Without a doubt, what she liked best of all was cooking with her grandma. In the winter evenings, the two of them would stay in the kitchen, baking the most amazing cakes. Annie loved to invent new flavors, and she seemed to have a special gift for combining spices. "A pinch of lemon zest, a little bit more sugar, and just a few drops of vanilla essence," she would say, while her hands would move skillfully over the pots and hobs. Although she couldn't see, or maybe precisely for that reason, Annie could always tell when flavors were at their very best moment. People said that the neighboring villages could always tell when she was cooking, because the breeze was full of the most unusual aromas. But the strangest thing of all was that everyone agreed that when they smelt the aroma wafting from the little girl's kitchen, they all felt curiously happy. Annie was only 10, and all of the villagers already spoke about the magic that suffused everything she cooked. The summers and falls went by, and the winters and springs, and then the summers would come again while Annie continued to experiment with the flavors and spices that her father would bring to her from the most faraway places. On her 17th birthday, Annie surprised her family with a very special dinner. A few days earlier, she had asked each of them to tell her which was the happiest moment of their lives. Her mother had told her it was when she was born. Her father said it was when he first visited the village where they now lived, and her grandma said it was when her husband had proposed to her on a night when it was raining cats and dogs. On the night of the dinner, Annie brought out plates with different dishes for each of them. Next, she blindfolded them and whispered to them to start eating. At first they didn't notice anything strange, except that the food smelled quite marvelous. Her grandma was the first one to realize. She couldn't explain how or why, but she was suddenly transported to the same place on the same rainy night at precisely the same moment that she said, "Yes, I will," to the man who would be her husband for so many years. While she struggled with shaking hands to take another bite, she realized that she wasn't the only one who was crying. Annie's mother and father, each one lost in their own memories, were chewing with tears running down their cheeks. When the dinner was over, they all hugged Annie, and she didn't need to see them to feel the gratitude in their hearts. The news spread like wildfire among the villagers. Annie had the gift of being able to awaken the strangest emotions with her magical mixtures of spices. One day Mrs. Mittrell asked her to bake some cookies for her husband, who had laid in bed for several days and did not have the energy to get up. Mr. Jonas asked her to make a cake for his son, who was feeling terrible because he could not pass his exams. And even the mayor of a nearby town wrote to Annie, asking her to send him something that would cheer up his mother, who was filled with sorrow. Annie loved knowing that she was helping others while she did what she liked best, cooking. Although she never accepted money, her neighbors made sure she was never short of anything. The local carpenter made her wooden spoons, which Annie loved for their smooth feel, and all of the others always gave her special presents. Her life was tranquil, her days spent surrounded by aromas and the warmth of the oven. Hey, my name is Silva.
Hola, yo me llamo Sirje.
I hope you enjoyed the book, Walking Through a World of Aromas.
Espero que les gustó el libro Walking Through the World of Aromas.
We were so inspired by this book that we wanted to explore our other senses as well.
Fuimos inspiradas por la historia y estuvimos explorando nuestros diferentes sentidos.
We were experimenting how we react with movement to different sounds, or how can we interpret verbal descriptions of movement.
Estuvimos experimentando cómo reaccionamos con movimiento a diferentes sonidos.
Try this out with a partner and see how you react with movement to somebody describing their movement to you or to any sounds that they make.
Puedes intentarlo con una pareja para ver cómo reaccionan con movimiento a diferentes sonidos.
We hope you enjoy.
Esperamos que lo disfruten.
Adiós.
Bye. Voy a levantar mi brazo hacia arriba. Voy a levantar mi otro brazo hacia arriba y rápidamente los voy a dejar caer. Me voy a mover mi pierna hacia el lado, por el suelo, Me voy a volver a cerrar mis piernas. Voy a deslizar mi pierna hacia atrás. Y voy a volver a cerrar mis piernas. Me voy a agachar, doblar un poquito. Y voy a brincar hacia arriba. Voy a levantar los dos de mis brazos. Y me voy a subir a mis dedos de los pies. Y voy a mover mis deditos. Y bajar los brazos por los lados. Me voy a doblar hacia adelante. Muy bien. Poner mis manos al piso. Y voy a volver a subir. Voy a mover mi pierna hacia el lado. Muy bien. Más hacia el lado, una posición bien grande. Una posición muy, muy, muy grande. Ándale, y me voy a cambiar el peso a la otra pierna. Y cerrar las piernas. Voy a cerrar las piernas. Voy a cerrar las piernas.
Boing. Boing. Boing.